Don't
I
you want
have.
one though? I thought maybe you would smash Superman. Just one more try. One more try.
Why? Just to be disappointed?
Welcome to the Enthusiast Gaming Podcast, where today we're going to be discussing a variety of topics. First up, we're going to be doing Smash, Marry, Kill with video games, and I'll explain the rules to those of you who don't know shortly. Wes has a special announcement after that, so we'll talk to him about what that is. We're going to talk about some trash games, some butt games, and then we got some memorable sports titles. We're going to be doing this as a mini series. This month, we're going to be talking about football and baseball games that are very, very memorable. And then we're going to end the show with a pulse check, and we'll wrap things up right there. Wes, thank you for joining me today, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. What's going on, my friend?
Not much. Not much. Happy to be here with you talking about games. I got some
Always.
Red Bull so I can stay energized throughout the show.
Let's get to it.
All right. I'm Matt. You guys can follow me over on Twitter at FromNJ2CA. Make sure you guys follow the company at Nerd Enthusiast on all social media platforms. If you like what you hear today, please consider supporting us over on Patreon, patreon.com/Nerd Enthusiast. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. All right, Smash, Marry, Kill with video games. Let's get into the rules of what's happening. So, Smash, you get to continue a game or a franchise. It could be a one-off. So, like, for example, Journey is only one game. It's not a franchise, right? But you can continue that. Smash, you get one more of that game or that franchise. Kill, you kill the franchise. You still know what existed before today. So, I'll give you the same example I used before. Super Mario Odyssey was the last one that came out. Actually, that's not true. The last one that came out was New Super Mario. No, not New Super Mario Brothers. Oh my God, what the hell's that new game called? Super Mario Wonder, right? The seeds, the Wonder seeds.
Wonderland? Wonder?
I'm gonna say Super Mario Wonder. If I'm wrong, you guys can kill me. It's okay. Anyways, you know everything that's happened in the past, all past Mario games, but you do not know about any of the ones in the future. They're just killed. There's nothing in the future. You know the past ones. You never get a new Mario game, so that's kill. Marry. If you marry the game, you get to make that game in perpetuity. So you can make all the Marios you want, Wes. Endless Marios for Wes. That's what he wants, truly in his heart. Obviously, I'm joking, but so what happens with this is we pick different titles for each other. We try to make it hard. Wes, would you like to go first or second, sir?
Oh, I'm gonna go first because I got some good ones for you.
Perfect. Now I'm gonna just be looking at my phone really quick, not ignoring you. I'm just getting my list pulled up because I don't remember what I wrote. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Hit me with it.
So, your three Smash Marry Kill titles: Contra, Castlevania, Assassin's Creed.
Oh. All right. Well, man, kill Contra. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That one kind of hurt. All right.
They haven't made a good Contra in years. And quite frankly, it doesn't seem that hard, but they can't seem to figure it out. So you can kill that one.
I don't know. This the new one. Operation was it? Galaga it's old school Contra. It's good.
I didn't play it, so I can't speak to it. I just
Okay.
heard it was not very good. But I don't. Again, didn't play it for myself, so I'm not speaking from experience. If you played it, do you
Okay.
think it's good?
I
I'll
did
take
because
it.
yeah, the demo was up and I played the demo. I ordered it for unlimited run. Curse that company. Um, so anyway, but yeah, Contra. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Contra's killed. Um, so my choices were Castlevania
Mm-hmm.
and Assassin's
Assassin's
Creed.
Creed. Yep.
This sucks. um, Jesus. I. Hmm. I don't know, Wes. Do I get to make the game however I want it to be?
Nope,
For
you got to take.
example, I'm going to specify real quick.
Okay.
If I pick Castlevania, do I get to make like the 2D Castlevanias, or can I make a Symphony of the Night like like a Metroidvania, or is it out of
Nope,
my control?
it's out of your control.
This is bullshit. Oh man, because I feel the same way about Assassin's Creed, which is why I asked that question. I mean, there's Assassin's Creed games that
Mhm.
I really really like, and there's ones that I'm just like, okay. Jesus. All right, I'll give you my thought process.
Okay.
On the Smash Castlevania, I'm going to marry Assassin's Creed. There's reason.
Really?
There's a reason.
Okay.
Igarashi makes Castlevania likes, which are
Hmm.
damn good. So I can get them elsewhere. Konami doesn't know what the hell they're doing with that series anymore, apparently. Just like Contra, funny
Hmm.
enough, right? Assassin's Creed, I did not play Mirage, which was supposed to be like the old ones. It just didn't, it just didn't capture my attention, the same way as like the newer. I really like the new big RPGs they have, the
Hmm.
exception that they're too damn big. Like Odyssey was the biggest one that I played, and that took, I think, I want to say I put like 150 to 200 hours into Odyssey, and then they put out Valhalla, and I think I put like 130 hours into that, and I thought I was pretty close to beating it, and then like some other stuff happened. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not playing this game anymore. So I never finished Valhalla. Then they put out Mirage, which is supposed to be a smaller version. I was like, okay, well, it's cool. It's a smaller version. It's kind of going back to Assassin's Creed's roots, but I really like the gameplay and the style of the new ones.
Okay.
And the new one they showed off just recently, you could be a ninja West. Like you could be
Oh
like
man.
a shinobi like, or you could be like a more like a brute or a samurai. Uh, I'm being a stealthy shinobi. It's gonna happen.
I I was super excited when I saw the trailer for the new Assassin's Creed. I haven't been excited for Assassin's Creed in a long time.
Yeah, dude.
This one, this
I'm
one got
stoked
my
for it.
attention. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I have some faith left in Ubisoft, especially after Prince of Persia. I mean, I know you played that new Prince of Persia game. Oh my god, that was good. I
Oh, you
can't
beat
believe.
it.
Oh yeah,
Oh, so good, so good.
that new. What is it? What is it called? The Lost Crown, right? Is it the
Hmm.
Lost Crown?
Lost Crown, Lost
Something
Kingdom.
like that. Came out in January. Anyways, Prince of Persia game is awesome. So I have a little bit of restored faith in Ubisoft. This new Assassin's Creed game looked fantastic. Konami doesn't know what the hell they're doing with anything apparently. I guess the new Metal Gear trailer looks pretty cool, but who cares about Metal Gear, right? Right? Um, yeah. So those are my choices. Uh,
Okay, interesting.
you know, but yeah, Igarashi can make me a Castlevania game on the side and just call it something else, which is exactly what he's doing. So I'm totally fine with
Okay,
that. For you, sir,
okay, hit me.
let's see. Your options are. Oh, I put four. That means I got to eliminate one. Which one am I going to eliminate? Maybe I'll save that one. Yeah, I'm just going to go with these three major franchises, all which I know you care about in varying degrees. So I won't be totally surprised with the number one pick here,
Okay.
or your Mary's not going to surprise me, but you might have a harder time with the other two. Batman, Superman, Star Wars. Wes, go for it.
On the video game front, right?
On the video game front, not talking about anything else. And again, even if you kill these, you know everything that's happened before,
Mm-hmm.
but you never get a new one. Mary, you know everything that's happened before, and you get one more. Or
Kill
I'm sorry,
Superman.
that was Smash, not Mary.
Kill Superman.
I knew it.
Kill Superman. It just, you know what? They haven't given us a good Superman game in ever. So I yeah.
Don't
I
you
have
want one though? I thought maybe you would smash Superman. Just one more try. One more try.
why just to be disappointed? No, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
I can see
Um,
that.
Ooh, smash or marry.
Batman or Star Wars?
I would. Hmm, okay, all right. Mine's not too difficult. Okay, I would smash Star Wars, and I'd marry Batman.
Okay, this is what I expected. I
Yeah,
wasn't
man.
100% sure, but I was pretty confident. But I think Star Wars has great games over decades, where Batman really just has like, well, they had the NES Batman, but they're very hit and miss.
Well, you figure once we got Rocksteady's versions,
Sure,
all
the
the Arkham
Arkham ones,
games.
yeah,
Oh my god, so good. They were fantastic.
right. But then they made Suicide Squad,
They
and the
did.
heads of that studio aren't there anymore. They all left.
But then I think about like the Arkham games. I think about the Telltale Batman games, which were phenomenal.
I never played those ones.
Oh, they were probably one of the best Batman games I've played outside of Arkham. They were really good. So, yeah, I had more faith in Batman. Star Wars, as much as I love Star Wars, and I loved Fallen Order and Survivor. It's starting to get too big. Like Outlaws, Star Wars Outlaw, I'm gonna play it. I'll see what it's all about. But it's open world and it's I don't know. It's starting to get too big. Give me one more and I'm good.
Yeah, I can see that. I didn't play Jedi Survivor. Survivor was the newer one, right?
Survivor was the newer one.
Okay, I didn't play Survivor. I played the first one, and I was like, this game is a reasonable amount of time. Like, I want to say it was like, what, 20 hours to beat or something like
Mm-hmm.
that? Something around there. Like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
if it got any longer, I don't know. And they're just saying the second one was longer than that one?
Actually, I thought the second one was a little shorter.
Okay, well, that's good for me to hear. But now Outlaws is, supposed to be like a big open world, right?
Exactly. So, yeah.
Okay.
But I have an employee that just started playing Fallen Order. He's like, it's been sitting in his queue on Game Pass forever. He's like, I ain't got nothing to play. He's like, and I saw it sitting there. You guys said it was good, so I started playing it. He's like, why did I wait so long to play this game?
Fallen
Uh,
Order is very good.
it's really good.
Yeah, I had a
So,
blast playing that one. I had some
yep.
problems with it. It wasn't perfect. There was definitely some technical things.
And they fixed those little glitches and stuff and issues in the second one. And the second one is really really good. And
Yeah,
the story is top notch.
download it to my Game Pass, man. It's already on my console. It's ready to play. I just gotta
Okay, find
find
the
some time.
time.
That's right.
Find the
I'm
time.
finally getting around to God of War Ragnarok. So,
Ooh, that's another good one.
yeah, I'm hitting a lull in the game though, where I'm just like, this game is not nearly as good as the first one. What is it, 2016 or 2018 God of War? It's not even close. I didn't beat the game yet, so you can you can take my word for it if you want. But I just at this point where you're playing as Atreus,
hmm
and there's this girl like trying to show him stuff, and it's so long and
Oh yeah,
so
yeah,
boring.
yeah,
I've been in there for like it feels. I don't know if it's been
yeah.
2 hours, Wes. It feels like I've been in there for 2 hours. I'm like, when is this going to end?
I know where you're at. Yep.
Horrible, horrible.
Keep
The rest,
going.
the
Just
rest of
keep
the
just
game
keep
was
going.
fine. I just not
Keep
enjoying
going.
this part. Anyway, yeah, so that was Smash Mary Kill, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I like playing this game quite a bit. Wes loves Batman, so not a surprise that he married Batman, of course. But yeah, if you guys have suggestions, me and Wes kind of know each other, though, so it's really hard to take
Mhm.
suggestions. But if you want to throw them our way, we'll consider them for next time. All right, now, Wes, you have something important to talk to us about
I
regarding something
do.
happened on another show. So I'm gonna let you take it away.
I do. So, one of our recent videos, we did a post check, and I talked about the bouncer for PS2. It was a my low pick that episode.
Oh, it's a low pick.
And we talked. We had our differences. I enjoyed, from what I remember, I enjoyed the game. I was like, oh my god! And you were like, it's trash. I didn't believe you. I'm like, okay, you know what? And I said I was going to play it just to see if it's as bad as you say it is after all these years. and I said I would talk about it afterwards. So here I am. I recently played it, and I still like it.
Oh my god.
I still like it. It's okay now. Because I said I couldn't remember what the RPG elements was because considered an action RPG.
Yeah, I
So
forgot also.
yeah, after each fight, you get points and you can increase your life, your power, your defense. But the dialogue is horrible. Oh my goodness! I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh man, really? The dialogue is crap, but it looks really nice. Even to that day, it looks really
It's
shiny.
a
It's
Square
it's
game, of
it's
course
a
it's
square
gonna.
game. And it was fine. It was fine. I played through the whole game in a couple hours. It's not a perfect game. It's definitely not a perfect game, but uh, it's what I remember, and I'm gonna stick by it.
You do that, Wes. You do.
I am. I
If it
am.
make if it makes you happy and you like it, that's great. But no, I can't stand aside you on the part of the bouncer.
It was what it was, and that's I'm like, you know what, and the fight scenes are a lot shorter than what I remember because they're like 2 seconds, and then it goes to cutscene, and then there's like another 2 second fight, and then it goes to a
Sounds
cutscene.
like a lot of fun. Interrupting the combat constantly sounds great.
Yeah, I didn't I don't know I got a I don't know why I have a soft spot for that game.
Well, you can see why I hate it. I just talked about God of War, and you hit this like lull in the mid, like I don't know from the middle or where I'm at, but I'm just like, Jesus, come on, like let me play the game.
But anyway, that leads into our first topic:
Crappy
tra-
games.
trashy games.
That's right. So yeah, we have a list of games here. Wes and I came up with these together. These are just a list of trash games, like for various reasons. We're gonna run through them and talk about them. Wes, there is no greater place to start than what we just talked about a few minutes ago, which is Superman 64. Take it away.
And that's why I killed it. We have never gotten a good Superman game. Superman 64, mm-mm, mm-mm. And it tried to capture the feel of the animated series, which was on TV at the time, and it looked horrible. It controlled horrible. It was just not a good game. I couldn't believe they put that out.
I rented it and was like so confused by how bad it was. Like I was like, "What? You're flying through rings?" And like I couldn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
I either couldn't understand the objective, or it was just like impossible to do because it was like broken. You know, I would I think that was another game I took back like the same day. I was just like, I don't even want it. You guys can have it back. Here's my $3 or $5, whatever it costs. Just take your game back, please.
It was bad,
Horrible.
really bad. But I remember when it came out and people were actually excited for it.
I was excited to rent it. I was like, oh, cool, like Superman. Let's do this.
Yeah. You we don't get Superman games often. So when one comes around, you have high expectations that it's going to be decent. It's going to be fun to play. It
Yeah,
was not
in a
not
3D
fun.
environment, like that sounds like that's would be perfect for Superman, right? Like,
Right. Flying around and doing stuff. No.
no, 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 no.
No. I would rather go back and play The Death and Return of Superman on Nintendo 64, which was a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
I mean, that sounds better.
That was a billion times better than Superman 64.
I don't even know that I've seen that before. That was a beat 'em up on 64. You said
Mm-hmm. Not 64, Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. Okay, all right. This makes more sense.
Super
Much more
Nintendo.
sense.
I'm sorry, Super Nintendo. I'm getting my
Gotcha.
Nintendos mixed up.
No worries, man. Now another stinker we talked about before on this channel, well, probably a while ago. Double Dragon, as a lot of great games in its series. Renowned from from the '80s, of course. The NES version is everybody knows that. This is not that. This is the Atari 2600 version, and this just go watch a video. If I still have the clip, I'll put it in. Holy cow! Ugh.
It's totally unplayable.
and it looks terrible.
It does. It does. And you know, growing up with the Atari, we were so excited because that was the one thing that they kind of harped on was, the arcade game, their arcade smash hit coming home.
Yeah,
And you get it and you pop it in, and even back then we're like, I was like, what is this?
not even close, man. Like, I mean, the NES version looks comparable to the arcade. Like, you could see it.
Yes.
The Atari 2600, yes, I know it's not as powerful. I understand that. I know the graphics aren't quite the same, but it's like if you're not even going to get it close, then don't even bother. Like, just don't. Save everybody their money. Save your programmers their time. The week that you probably gave them to make the game. Now you got to talk about this next one, Wes, because I never played it. So I'll let you take this one away.
Okay, the next two games we're going to talk about kind of broke my heart because huge comic book fan, as I've mentioned several times. So anytime a superhero game or a comic book related game comes out, I get excited. I get really excited. PlayStation 1, they advertised Fantastic Four, and it was multiplayer. And there hasn't been too many Fantastic Four games up to that point. I don't think there were any. I think this might have been the first one, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know we got some on PS2 when the movies came out with Jessica Alba.
Right, Michael
Um,
Chiklis was in there.
yeah, but this was pre that, and it just wasn't. Oh man, it was not good. And I will always try to find a positive.
Oh, you will.
If there's one, I'll find it. I couldn't find one other than you're playing as a Fantastic Four. That's really it. The playability was atrocious. I'm not even going to talk about the graphics. Graphics were but just there was it totally unplayable. The playability zero. Fun factor zero.
Yeah, I mean PS1 was like that was the first generation of like 3D, right? PS1 and
Mm-hmm.
64, so they were still figuring this stuff out. So there's a few titles on this list from that generation. Yeah, from there we have another one. I mean, I haven't even seen the movie, so I mean, we're talking about Matt can't speak to it. I really can't
Mm.
speak to this one. So you guys can go ahead and chastise me for not ever seeing the movie. Brenner, if you're watching, yeah, I know. The Crow on PS1, a renowned movie, right?
Oh, that man,
Brandon Lee.
that's one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
You and Brenner, man, you guys are making me want to watch this. You're making me want to watch this, but I don't watch movies hardly ever, like very rarely.
I love The Crow. I again, it was a comic book, so I was familiar with the comic book, and then the movie came out. Brandon Lee. It was sad. It was his last performance, but it's a classic, man. It's a classic. And then we got a PS1 game. I was super excited until I turned it on.
The Angry Video Game Nerd did a video on this. I think within the past few years, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed watching his video. So I have seen the game. I do know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Oh boy, this thing is. Wes, I'm not. Did you play? Like, did you beat the game, or did you just play it? And we're like, this is bad. I'm never playing this again.
I played it and I'm like, this is. You know what? I would rather go back and play Fantastic Four.
Jesus God.
He was very stiff in his animation. It wasn't good. If I'm not mistaken, it was Acclaim that threw it out.
Yeah, Acclaim had a lot of stinkers too. They had some
They
good
did.
games, but they just kind of like. I feel like Acclaim was that company back then. It was just like, we're gonna throw all this crap against the wall. Some of it's gonna work, and some of it's not, and you're gonna buy it. Unfortunately, some of you are gonna buy all of it. So
And that unfortunately for the PlayStation 1, that's exactly what it was.
hmm
Everybody and their mother who had a computer to make a video game put a game out on PlayStation 1. There was so much stuff coming out, and it was kind of just, let's see what sticks.
well, I think they did it for two reasons. One, the PS1 was a very popular system, right? But two, it was CD-ROMs, which were super cheap to make at the time compared to like an N64 cartridge or something like that. So there you go, guys. The Crow on PS1, another banger. Now for an officially Wes approved crappy title that you can somehow enjoy,
I do.
Aquaman on the original Xbox. I I know you sent me a copy as kind of like a joke.
I was hoping you would actually play it.
Wes, it's not going to my Xbox, man. It's on my shelf. I have it there. Not in the camera, but on the other shelves that
Mm,
you guys can't see. It's there, Wes. It's not going to win ever. I'm never going to get rid of it. It's a gift from you. I'll
mm.
always remember you from it. But I don't think that thing is ever going in my Xbox, Wes.
You know what? Okay, this is one of the times where I kind of find a positive. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like again, superhero game. It was on the Xbox. Yes, it wasn't horrible in my opinion. It was fine. It was. You know what? It would have been good if it was like a $20 game, like when it launched, but it was a full price game.
hmm
So yeah, I could kind of see, yeah, maybe it might not have been worth the full price, but it was Aquaman. You swam around, and this was when Aquaman had a hook for his hand, and yeah,
You too can get a copy of your Aquaman on Xbox for under $5 today, ladies and gentlemen. Just look at your local retro video game stores or any convention. I'm sure you'll find it in the bargain bins.
dang, it's $5 now.
Yeah, it's like $5, and that's complete in box. It's $5.
Spend that $5. Play Aquaman. Give him some love.
I haven't looked at it in like probably a year or two. But maybe it went up a little from the popularity of the movies with Jason, whatever his name is, Momoa. Is that
Jason
right?
Momoa.
Yeah, he might
But
he
you
might
know
have
what?
pumped it up a little bit.
Aquaman for Xbox is still better than Superman Nintendo 64.
I don't doubt that one bit. I would certainly play that Aquaman game before I ever popped Superman 64 back into an N64. For damn sure. Next up was a hit show that got turned into a movie in the early 2000s and ended up coming out into a game somehow. Sounds great, doesn't it? Charlie's Angels. I remember this came out in the Xbox, PS2, and GameCube generation. Now, which version did you unfortunately buy, Wes?
I bought the GameCube.
Okay.
I bought the
That would have
GameCube.
been the version I probably would have also bought if I got it at the time. And I don't remember why. Maybe the graphics of that game looked better on GameCube, but I also gravitated to the GameCube version. Granted, I never bought it, but yeah,
Don't ask me why I bought it. I just did.
you buy everything. That's as you're going to realize. Wes owns probably every game that's on this list of the crappy games.
I don't know why I bought it. I don't know. I don't know why I bought it. It was there. Maybe somebody gave it to me. I don't know, but I have it. It's not a good game.
It was like a third-person like action game, like you like brawl sort of, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it's in 3D, so it's not that great. Like,
Yep. Multiplayer.
yeah,
Multiplayer brawler. This Charlie's Angels. Why they had to do a Charlie's Angels game, I don't know.
I don't know. Couldn't tell you, sir. Did they make a sequel to that? I feel like they did, but I could be wrong.
I don't think so. I think it was just the one and done. I know
Was
they
it
did
the
sequel
movie
to the
though?
movies.
Okay, all right, maybe that's what I'm. The wires in my brain are crossed. It's probably that would make a lot more sense. The movies probably did much better than the game.
And then they tried to reboot it again
They
with
did?
Charlie's Angels. Yeah,
When?
with Kristen Stewart and yeah, like yeah, they recently, like a couple years ago.
Insane. That movie bombed, I'm sure, right?
It did bomb.
Okay. Good. Good. These studios need to learn. Like, Jesus. Some things just need to die, Wes. Sometimes you gotta let things go.
I agree.
Next up, we got a couple of Batman titles. Batman is your gig, so take it away, sir.
You know what? I don't know, man, but this list we put together, all the superhero games suck. Seems like there's a lot of them on this list, but Okay,
Wes, like
the
I said, Wes has all of these games. All of the superhero games Wes had bought and
I
still owns.
did.
I'm sure he never gave up
I
a copy of
did.
Superman 64. It's probably in mint condition on his shelf with
It's just there.
tears.
It's like I Batman, and Batman's my dude. He's my guy. And for the most part his games were good. We got the Arkham games which were phenomenal.
I would say 50-50. I think you got some good ones and some stinkers in there.
Prior to that, Batman games were for the most part decent.
Sure.
The side scrolling beat 'em ups, and but when this generation, like the Xbox, GameCube, PS2 came out, it was like, well, they announced a new Batman game. And I remember seeing in the previews, and it looked really good. It looked like it was taken from the comics. I was like, wow, this looks good. And it was put out by Kemco, and it was Batman Dark Tomorrow. And I've mentioned this game once before on one of our videos, and this game was total trash. Total trash. I couldn't I can't even find any redeeming qualities to say on that game because there was none.
Was it like a beat 'em up or something, or like what kind of game was it?
It tried to be Arkham before Arkham. You kind of ran
Hmm.
around, and you had a grappling hook, but he was very stiff in his animation. The controls were unresponsive. It was not good at all, and that broke my heart. And I was like, oh man, because we also that generation also had Batman Vengeance
Hmm.
and Batman Rise of Sun Tzu, which were both based off the animated series, and they were decent. They were fine. We had the Batman Begins game. That was fine.
Yeah, I think I remember the Batman Begins one got pretty decent reviews.
This one, I don't know why they put it out.
Yeah, I mean,
Aquaman was better than this.
Chemco doesn't have the best track record. I mean, I think they still put out like pretty mediocre to kind of trashy games today. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but they put out like these weird. I think they're mostly focused on like obscure RPGs that you know are pretty low budget.
I guess. I don't know. Because I might as well just throw this one in there too. Because they also did Batman Beyond. And that
Oh,
was that was also on our list. And that was again like garbage.
yeah. I mean, you were getting a lot of Batman at this time, but it just again it goes back to my point earlier. I feel like Batman's very 50-50. Just depends on the one that you have. Maybe it's a little skewed in your favor. Maybe it's like 70-30. You know, the NES
Man.
Batman was good. Batman Forever was trash. Like,
Okay, I'm gonna keep quiet on
here
that one.
comes West defending it. Here he comes,
I was like, oh no. I,
busted out.
uh, eh, all right, I'm not gonna say too much.
You know what's funny? I just picked that game up at the convention.
For Saturn, did you get it for Saturn?
No, no, I got it for Genesis.
Oh, okay. Genesis one was garbage. I got it for the Saturn.
Oh, maybe the Saturn one was okay. Maybe. But
Oh,
I
but
got the Genesis one. You know how much I paid for it?
$15.
Under $4 West for a complete in box copy, like a near mint complete in box copy of Batman Forever on Sega Genesis. It was
Mhm.
$3.33.
I mean, Batman Forever was a side-scrolling, digitized beat 'em up.
Yep.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Put up
I'll,
by
I'll give it a
acclaim.
shot because Jim Carrey's in it. Like at least he's playing the Riddler. I don't know that they've actually used Jim Carrey in any way, shape, or form other than his face is on the cover. With the other ones or whatever. But I love Jim Carrey, so I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Well, that's even better than both of those Batman games on our list: Batman Dark Tomorrow and Batman Beyond.
I'll take your word for that. I'll have to.
I'm telling you. Now, the next game, I don't remember playing for NES, but you put it on the list as being a trashy game.
It could have been better after the first level, but you really don't get past. Most people don't get past it. You got to land this ship. You got to land the plane on a ship.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't figure it out, Wes. I just stopped playing the game. Like that was like one of like, if it wasn't the first mission, it was like one of the very first like two missions. Like it was very very early in the game. I'm like I'm 100% sure it was the first thing you do. Couldn't figure it out.
And the
Maybe I
game,
was a dumb kid. Couldn't figure it out.
but the game he's talking about is Top Gun.
Oh yeah, I did you mention? Wasn't even worth mentioning. But I do remember playing that as a kid and just being like so annoyed and just giving up. Like I can't figure this out. Yeah, maybe I missed something, but I feel like a lot of people had problems landing that stupid plane on the ship.
I don't remember playing it, so I couldn't speak on it at all. You know what? The funny thing is though, it comes in at Level Up Entertainment, um, and we sell it pretty regularly. It's like people come in, if they buy Nintendo games, they're like, "Oh, you got Top Gun, I want that." Okay.
I don't think they know what it is, or they don't, or they're misremembering it or something. I mean, maybe they do know how to land the ship. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I know for a fact there's other people out there that were frustrated with this. When you think, oh yeah, let's get a Top Gun game, do you think to yourself, Wes, yeah, I'm gonna go land this damn plane on a ship? Yes, that's what I want to do. I want to land a plane on a ship.
No, it should
Yay!
be all about dogfighting
Right,
and space, air combat.
dude.
No.
Maybe that's in the later levels for sure, but I wouldn't know because I couldn't land the damn plane on the ship. So yeah, Top Gun's on there for that crappy reason. We gotta get some fighting games in here too, Wes. You got a couple fighting games for us. Let's talk about those.
All right, this one I'm going to kind of defend. By no means is I'm not saying is it classic, is it great? No, but Street Fighter the movie, the game with Jean Claude Van Damme as Guile. I have a soft spot on that game because okay, first of all, it was based off the horrible movie that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter was super popular,
Yep.
super popular at the time, so they decided to do a movie. And just like everything else, they decided to do a game based on the movie, based on the game. But they used digitized graphics a la Mortal Kombat.
Street Fighter, the movie. For Sega Saturn and Sony PlayStation will blow you away. Light years beyond any other game in the Street Fighter universe. It's the gut-wrenching fight of your life. Experience non-stop action with eye-popping digitized graphics. Battle head-to-head with the stars of the movie. Attack and defend with hundreds of outrageous moves. The clock is ticking. The world is watching. And the fight has just begun. Street Fighter the movie for Saturn and PlayStation is coming soon. Out here, it's a whole other game.
You know what? Maybe I have a soft spot for this game because I learned how to actually do a Dragon Punch on this game. It's like for some reason I struggled with the regular Street Fighter, but this game came out and I kind of picked it up, and then I was good going forward. So it did teach me something. But
Did this come out only on Saturn, or was this released on other consoles as well? Because I don't remember.
good question. Good question.
I feel like it would have had to have been like Saturn,
it would have been a Saturn,
maybe PS1,
maybe.
maybe like a 3DO or a Neo Geo or something like that. I don't know. I
It
don't even
definitely
know
was a Neo Geo,
no?
and I don't remember Street Fighter for 3DO. Well, outside of Turbo.
This next one, I did pick up recently. Like, well, recent, I guess it's relative, but I think within the past year I picked this up. I got a sealed copy for like $5 more than a complete in box one, so I said, why not pay $5 and get the sealed version of Kakatu Kojin. I don't know how to say
Mm.
that. And this was super hyped up at the time, like it came out. Everybody was looking forward to this fighting title. This was an Xbox
Yes.
exclusive title,
Yes, it
original
was.
Xbox, like OG Xbox, and it was in magazines. It looked really nice. You
Yes,
know,
it did.
it presented very well, uh, and then no one liked it.
There was no sound to it.
Yeah. Why?
There was no sound. It was, I don't know. It's just, yeah. This is also the game we were told to pull off the shelf.
Yeah, because it had some sort of Muslim reference or something, right?
Yeah, and one of the stages had like Islamic writings or something on the back, then like on the background, and we were told to pull it.
Yeah. So the game did release for a short period of time. There's
Mm.
copies out there. They're not very expensive. You would think that this would probably be a more expensive title on original Xbox, but they're out there. They're available. Like I said, I got a sealed one for like $5 more than the cost of the complete box. So I don't know why I did it. We just started talking about it. I was like, I got to get that.
Well, at least
Just
now you own it.
yeah, it's there if I ever want to try it.
Like I said, it still looks really nice. Like I said, it presented very well.
Yeah, it looked great. You know, in the magazines and stuff, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe how good this looks. And it was from one of the creators of Mortal Kombat, as we discussed before.
This one?
Yeah,
Really? You
yeah, it
sure?
wasn't Ed Boon. Am I
'Cause
misremembering it? Was it another title we talked about that was like that?
yeah, it was that was Tel Fang, Fist of the Lotus. It was that one.
Thank you for that correction, Wes. You are 100% correct. Thank you.
This was put out by Microsoft. I think Microsoft Studios did this.
You're absolutely right. My apologies. I'm getting old, Wes.
But it still looked nice. That's about
Yeah.
it.
It did look nice. I do remember that. I threw in this last one because I remember also renting this, and I love the OG Paperboy. I love the arcade version of Paperboy. I love the NES version of Paperboy. Sega Genesis one, pretty good too. Pretty good. Not the N64 one. Not very good at all.
It got the Superman 64 treatment.
So even for N64, the graphics were not good. It had crappy sound. Like just go and listen to some of the stuff in the game. It's not very good at all. It's awful. And you're like, okay, well, it's Paperboy in 3D. Sounds great. I'm like, I love Paperboy. This would be a great rental. I rented it. Thank God I didn't buy it. No. No.
No! Bad dog! Bad dog! No! Oh, don't you look at me like that! You are gonna get it!
Paperboy is back, delivering justice. With 25 neighborhoods, 3D environments, and all new targets. Paperboy, only on Nintendo 64, from Midway.
I don't know how you mess up Paperboy, but they managed to do it.
I don't see how. Paperboy in the arcade was classic. Just copy the formula, man.
But, you know, they must not have had a big budget for it. I want to say, again, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say this was like a later N64 release. Like it may have came out in like the year 2000 or something like that. You know? So I don't think it sold very well. I think people were just like trying to put it out the door. Probably had like no budget. And it shows. But yeah, go check out Paperboy for N64. It's probably very inexpensive.
That's what I was gonna say. Like for the game to be that bad, I'm really curious about the pricing on that.
I'm guessing it's like a $10 game loose.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Complete in box is harder because I have no idea. It was a cardboard box. Maybe it's like 25 complete in box, 30. These are all guesses. I have no idea.
What are you saying? What are you
$10
thinking?
loose. And I'll say
okay.
like 35 with the box.
You're really close. You're really close. Yeah, so you're looking at like $14 loose.
Okay. Oh, I'm off by $4.
About $43 complete in box,
Okay.
and about $100 sealed.
If you're buying a sealed copy of N64, you need to reevaluate what you're doing with your life.
Yeah, well, it's still not worth it though. Huh?
No, not worth it at all. So that's our crappy games, guys. We hope you enjoyed this segment. Now it's time for some memorable sports titles, Wes. Now, we didn't discuss this ahead of time. Do you want to start with football or baseball? Where do you want to go first?
You know what? It's baseball season right now.
Okay.
Football season is approaching very rapidly. I can't wait. I can't wait. So
Can't wait
let's
to
go
watch
with
Dallas lose.
always. So let's go. Let's start with baseball.
Okay, I'm down with that. If we're starting with baseball, I just want to throw this out in the beginning. We should start with probably this is the oldest game that's on our list. RBI baseball, we got to mention for NES, right? I mean, classic game. I think they made 500 of these in the NES. No, I'm just kidding. I think there was like 3 or 4 RBI baseballs on NES.
Yeah,
They were all
and
pretty
then
good.
on the Genesis and Nintendo 64. Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, that was like probably the first baseball game. I know they made other ones. I know they made like Bases
Mhm.
Loaded. They made one with like robots, which was kind of interesting. Um, there's a lot of baseball games on NES, but I think RBI baseball was the one that like most people probably played and remember.
Yeah, I do remember it. Um, I remember it more on the 16-bit era, like on the Genesis Super Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I played some other games then. I don't remember playing RBI baseball then. Played like Tommy Lasorda baseball, which was surprisingly good. I think I played that on SNES.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And then, but like during the 16-bit era, we had the rise of sports talks, like Sega Sports Talk lines. We had Sports Talk Baseball.
Oh man, Sports Talk baseball was awesome, Wes.
It definitely was. Just to hear announcing in the game,
But it played fantastic, man.
it
I
did.
played the crap out of Sports Talk baseball, like an insane amount. Probably one of my most played Genesis games, like right after like the
Yeah,
Sonic games. This is probably like right after them.
I'm right there with you. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah, man. They the announcers and stuff were great, but I don't know, man. I have such fond memories of that. Playing like the Phillies from that era. Um, for some reason, I also like the Braves then. I was like playing the Braves and the Phillies a lot. Don't know why. Phillies were like my hometown team, of course, which you don't care anything about.
No, no, I'm not a hometown team
Yeah.
lover.
Well, you're from somewhere else too, which is
I am, and
valid.
I moved down here, and everybody's either Eagles or Phillies or Sixers fans, and I'm like, don't care for any of them.
So who was your team? When you're playing sports talk baseball, who were you picking?
I was
The
picking the Mets.
Yankees? The Mets?
No,
All right, I'll put some respect on the Mets.
I was picking the
Better than
Mets.
the Yankees. I freaking hate the Yankees.
Everybody loves the Yankees.
No.
Everybody loves the Yankees. My son loves the Yankees. But I grew up a Mets fan. I grew up going to Mets games. So anytime I would play a baseball game, I would automatically go to the Mets.
Look, they have a long history of sucking. I'll give you that. You guys have endured a lot. There was a couple of years where you guys should have went to the World Series and you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So the Mets are like the Jets. If you're a Mets or a Jets fan, I'm like, oh, you poor SOB.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, that was one of the sports talk baseball. And then, we also had, going a different generation, we had, Midway put out their NFL Blitz series, but they also did a baseball game called Slugfest.
Yep.
Which was baseball blitz style.
Yeah, like over the top, very arcade style baseball game. The pitcher would throw like baseballs on fire and stuff like that.
We call it Slugfest for a reason. MLB Slugfest 2003. Rated everyone who said baseball isn't a contact sport.
You would hit like these insane home runs. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it had that NBA Jam vibe.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
It really did, but it was baseball.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
they made a lot
fun.
of those.
It was
I
a
don't know why those series. I know those series probably didn't sell like really well, but in today's day and age, like with like digital downloads and like people could just make smaller games, like why not give a team, a license like that, like the MLB license, just like here, you know what, make a new Slugfest. Don't spend a lot of money on making it, and I bet you it would sell reasonably well, like an arcade style baseball game.
I think it would do well too. I
Yeah.
really do. In a world of simulators, I think
Yes.
just an arcade game would be great.
Yeah, and I know there's a few of them out there, but I mean, there's nothing really like Slugfest, Blitz hits like those. Bring that
Mhm.
back. Whoever owns those IPs anymore, bring them back.
Midway. Well, Midway's still around.
Are they?
Are they?
I don't think so. I think Midway went under, man, because Midway was they own Mortal Kombat, and Mortal Kombat's with WB now.
Yeah, there was Midway, and Midway put out some great stuff back in the day, though. But yeah, their sports lines, the over the top arcadey. They gave us NBA Jam, they gave us Hang Time and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Blitz and Slugfest and Hits, and it's good stuff.
I mean, my favorite baseball game from back then, it was either Sports Talk or it was Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball. Now there's different versions. There's the SNES version. There's the N64 version.
Mhm.
Of course, Nintendo owned the Seattle Mariners, or at least owned the majority of them. Back in that period of time, which is why Ken Griffey Jr. was on the cover, I'm sure. The N64 version was a blast, man. Again, this was a very highly played N64 game. I mean, this was probably like the last time I was really playing like baseball in any like serious manner. I'm on video games, and played the hell out of that game, Wes. Like, loved the N64 version of Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball.
I never played it. I know it got a lot of love and people raved about it. I never got around to playing it.
It was a sim, right? But I mean, it still has
Mhm.
that arcade feel. It still had the arcade feel at the end of the day. It didn't feel. It's not super over the top, right? It's nothing like that, but
Mhm.
you know, it felt like a little something more than just a standard baseball simulator. Um, I don't know. I really, really love that game for some reason.
Hmm.
I never played the SNES version. I heard the SNES version's very good too, but I just never got around to playing it. I probably should have picked that up at the convention. I bet you it would have been rather cheap. King
Yeah.
Griffey Jr. on SNES.
Yeah, I'm sorry I actually missed out on those back in the day because, like I said, everybody like loved them, and I
Dude,
just heard nothing
they're
but good
cheap.
things about it.
If you get a copy in your store, Wes, I guarantee it's like $15.
Okay.
Complete in box is probably like 20. Like it's a sports title, like you're not going to pay an arm and a leg for it, but it is a fantastic sports title that everybody deserves to play. Let's hop into some football now. Now, earlier we discussed things kind of, in some sort of order of, oldest to newest. I don't know where you want to start with this, Wes. I'll let you take it. There's so many directions you can go. There's some great games from like later on, in the 2000s. There's ones from like the early 90s, late 80s, wherever you want to start.
Being that we just talked about Slugfest, I might as well just start with Blitz, the football counterpart. And I remember seeing it in the arcade for the first time. And it was a football game, and it was like, oh my goodness, what is this? Over the top, uh, graphics were nice, tackles, and there with your ball would get on fire when you completed so many passes, and you had that boost of energy, that turbo button.
Yeah, the quarterback could throw the ball down like the entire field, and you would reasonably catch it at like a crazy amount of the time. Like you would hit people like
Mhm.
super hard, and like they would have crazy sorts of damage type things happen to them.
Oh man! And then I remember when during the PS1 and Blitz was coming home to home console. Man, that sold like crazy. Everybody was excited. We're like, oh my god, we're playing Blitz at home.
Yeah, Blitz was awesome, man. It was really big at that time. It was during that time. It was N64, PS1, I think they continued to release that for a few years. I think Blitz came out on like PS2. I don't know. There
360.
might have been one on PS3 360. Was there?
There was on 360 because it was called Blitz the League.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I remember that one.
Hmm. Yeah, they tried to bring it back. It didn't have real teams.
Oh, it didn't have an NFL license or anything?
I don't think it had an NFL license, but it was
That's a tough sell.
they tried to recapture the Blitz franchise again, but I think their time is come and gone at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. I would still love to see them bring it back, like we mentioned earlier. Just they got to have the licenses. You got to get the NFL license. You got to get the player's license. You know, if the problem is this, right? Here's the reality. Let's just talk about Blitz by itself. The NFL doesn't want to see people getting damaged like that, right? Because people are getting brain damage from like taking hits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So them having these over the top,
Mm-hmm.
hits and stuff in Blitz, I'm sure the NFL's like, no, thank you. You're not getting the NFL license to just destroy our players in your game. But
Well,
I don't know.
I remember when the XFL was coming out for the first time, and they advertised it as live action Blitz.
Yeah, sounds cool.
It did. It didn't last, but it sounded cool. Everybody knew what NFL Blitz was.
Oh yeah, classic. Now, if we're talking about Blitz, we got to talk about what I would consider the precursor to that, and this is Mutant League Football. Ladies and gentlemen, this game is spectacular. This was an EA Sports
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal game. I don't know that this had a license at all. I don't think this had players. No, it definitely did have players.
No,
I don't think it had.
they're all monsters.
Yeah, they're all monsters. They have random like names for different teams and stuff. I want to say the teams were like spoofs on different cities too. Like joke names and stuff. They would like scrape people off the field and stuff in this game. Like you would just completely destroy people. And I really love this game so much. I played the hell out of this. I rented this constantly. Same thing with hockey, which we're not going to talk about today, but Mutant League Hockey was another fantastic game from that era.
Oh yeah, I heard that they were trying to bring back Mutant League Football, like to the current generations, which I'd be interested to see. But man, I don't know if they can ever recapture the magic that Mutant League Football had, and we never got another one.
So they have brought it back in a way. So EA still owns that name.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Mutant League Football. That's the name of the classic game.
Mm-hmm.
The new version is called that's not made by EA. It's called Mutant Football League. So they switched two words around, but it's basically the same idea. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, Wes. It's not bad. It's pretty good. So you can kind of get a taste for that today. And I think they're making a new one that's coming out this year. They've updated the game a few different times, a couple different versions, but I would definitely check it out if you have that itch. It's not exactly the same, but it kind of fulfills it. It's pretty good.
Okay. Because I mean, Mutant League Football was magic back then.
Yeah, it's dope, man.
It was fun. It was good stuff.
During that period of time, back in the day, we also had Tecmo Bowl. Now we can't talk about football without Tecmo Bowl, West. I mean, this was the OG back in the day. I mean, this was probably a lot of people's first football games. I know that it was mine. 100%. This was the first football game I ever played. And my man, Bo Jackson, would just tear your butt apart. Oakland all day, baby. Oakland. They didn't have the NFL license, so they had cities, right? They had Oakland, but they had the players' license. So there would be players, and they would just say Oakland instead of,
right.
Or Los Angeles. It might have been Los Angeles at the time. I don't know. The Raiders changed their name. I think it was Los Angeles, actually. But yeah, man, did you play Tecmo Bowl?
Okay, so I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate mail, but I didn't like Tecmo Bowl.
Well, Super Tecmo Bowl I've never played. I know that's supposed to be
I didn't like any of the Tecmo football games.
Really?
I just didn't. I don't know, man. Because it at one point it got real stat heavy, and I know people like love and swear by like Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Super Bowl, and I not my thing. And I tried, and I just not for me. Not for me.
Fair enough. I mean, there are hardcore people that still play that game with updated rosters and stuff like today. Like it's just wild to think about. But I mean, it kept it simple, right? There's only a couple plays you can pick from, but trying to peek at the controller of the person next to you, like trying to see what they're doing,
Mhm.
so you don't play to like counter them with. Oh man, yeah, that's cheating. Of course, it's cheating. But everybody did it. I don't care what you say. You did it too. And if you don't, you're lying to yourself. I know you all cheated. Sports talk football. We got to mention, right? So I mean, this is like eventually Joe Montana was in there. I don't know if he was in the first one or not, but this was another
Mhm.
great football game during the Sega Genesis era.
Mhm.
I don't know that it was on SNES. I imagine it probably was on SNES, but the Genesis version is the one I played, and I love
No,
this football game also.
no, because I think Sports Talk Football was a Sega thing.
Oh, it was okay.
That was a Sega thing.
Oh yeah, because Joe Montana was in the commercials, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
Sports Talk later transitioned into like Joe Montana Football with
Okay.
sports. Yeah, but he was like the cover boy for Sports Talk, and then
Yep.
they slapped his name on it. Because then it
Yeah.
was like Joe Montana Football with Sports Talk or something like that. It was called.
I don't know that you needed to change the name, but I guess you want to, you're paying to have his face on the cover and his name. You might as well start the name with him. I guess. I don't know.
But like we said with the Sport Talks baseball, it was amazing to hear announcing on a Genesis cartridge.
Yeah, and it was pretty good, at the time.
The game wasn't bad at all. It wasn't bad at all, but it definitely set the bar.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely set the bar because we also had the John Madden series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this
John
is
Madden football was my first experience to like really liking video game football.
which was the first version that you played? Do you remember?
The Genesis one. The
The Genesis.
Genesis just basic. It was just called John Madden football.
Okay, so that was the first Madden on a console for sure.
The first Madden one. It didn't have the NFL license, so it had cities. Just had the cities.
Yep.
But it had like if somebody got hurt, the ambulance would come on the field and take them away. There was a little halftime show in the middle, like for intermission. It was fun, and it just kind of Madden just kind of it progressed year after year and got better and better and better. After the sports talk, what Sega did, then EA started implementing commentating in their cartridges.
Mm-hmm.
But it all started with Madden, man.
Yeah, I think I couldn't tell you which Madden was my first one. It was definitely during that era. It was either it had to be Genesis. I had a Genesis, but I don't know which Madden was the first one I played. It sounds like that probably was the Madden I played, but at least the first one, right? I played a bunch of Maddens. I couldn't even tell you how many Maddens I played on the Genesis. I have no idea, no clue. But that's also kind of what taught me like a lot about football. Like I don't know, I'm not the most in-depth person with football, right? But that was the first time I started to understand like plays in a more meaningful way, like more meaningful than like Tech Mobile showed you like the 4 or 5, 6 plays or whatever you could pick from. But yeah, Madden was awesome, man. 11 on 11, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it was. It was good stuff, man. Like I said, each year it just got better and better. And Madden 94, Madden 95, and then the new generations came out. But Madden just every year, Madden continued to outdo the previous year. But the highlight for Madden, from what I remember, was the first time we saw it on the PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah, I mean that was a huge graphical update. I mean,
Man,
going from those like the polygonal versions in the PS1. I think the later versions had the polygons. The early PS1 ones I think still had like the pixelated graphics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But just that increase in like, all right, yeah, it kind of looks like a football player. Oh no, that looks like a football player. Like that was real.
Oh yeah, the TV presentation style. It I remember seeing it at E3, and it blew everybody's mind when they unveiled it. It was like, wow.
Kickamus, Maximus, Buttimus. Madden 2001. Eat
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Rated E for everyone.
Yeah, that would have been like 2001.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was impressive. It was very impressive. And then each year Madden just got better and better and better. And it's sad to say, it's like I haven't actually picked up a Madden game in forever. I think my last Madden I actually bought was Madden 11 or 25, whichever the anniversary one was.
Mm-hmm.
That's but I just kind of, I don't know, man. I just got maddened out.
Yeah, I haven't played any in a while. I pick them up from time to time, like when they're super cheap. I'll just be like, oh, it's $4. Okay, like sure. And I made it a point to get the one that when Madden passed away, he was in the cover.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I got
Yep.
that one just because I had to. I got it later on. It was like $20 or something. I was like, I got to get John Madden. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. And you know what? What made Madden really good back in the day was EA still had the NCAA college football license.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I loved the college football game. But the cool thing was you can create a player in college, run him through the college years, sign him up for the draft, and then draft him into the new Madden.
Yeah, that's a cool feature. I never played college, but that's something I would have probably done, dude. That's freaking awesome.
It was great. Everybody was, creating a whole bunch of players. I remember having conversations with customers when we were at EB, and that a lot of people did it. It's so much fun, and it played good. It played really, really good.
I mean, there was plenty of years the college version was better than Madden, like legitimately better than Madden.
It was. It was. It was like college was the previous year's Madden, but tweaked.
Yeah, like improved or in some way. They're like, all right, well, we did this. Now we're gonna fix it in this version. It's a better version of last year's game.
Yeah, and then college went away.
Well, it's coming back this year, man. Will be your first year to get it.
We'll see.
Next month, actually. Next month is July. It should be out next month, man. That's crazy to think about.
You know what? I may actually pick it up. I won't actually pick it up.
I think that's cool that it's back. And the players are getting paid now.
Now they're getting paid, exactly. Because before they weren't getting paid.
Yeah, they deserve to get paid, especially when they're putting their bodies on the line. Their careers can be ended in the blink of an eye. Not to get morbid or anything, but it's true. Like you can have a serious injury and they didn't even pay you. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. But we have to talk about the Madden competitor.
Mm-hmm.
This was a big rivalry. You had Madden, and then you had the 2K series of football games.
I mean, 2K was better, Wes. It was. I played 2K5. I remember 2K5. It was 1999, and it outshined Madden in every way.
Visual Concepts outdid themselves. They were at the top of their game.
The clock will continue to run. 4th down, seconds remaining. They're going to need to call a TO.
Yo, this is T.O.
Game Informer calls it the one football game you must have. Yeah. And IGN says it will own your soul. Get ESPN NFL 2K5 from ESPN Video Games.
Hey, how'd you get this number?
Rated E for everyone.
With the rise of the the Dreamcast, when they introduced NFL 2K on the Dreamcast, everybody's mind were blown because we've never seen anything like that before. This was so realistic looking back then in 1999.
Right. Exactly.
The presentation style was like, wow. I remember having it displayed on the TV in the store, and people would walk by and swear like a game was on. I mean, we look at it now and it's like, well, it doesn't look as nice, but then
people forget how CRTs looked, Wes. They forget how CRTs were not high definition. Things did not always look this clear. So yeah, that's definitely reasonable that a Dreamcast in 1999 could be perceived as was that a real game? What is this on a CRT?
Yeah. And then like Madden, each year they just got better and better and better. But unfortunately, was it 2K? Was it 2K5? Was the
2K5 was the last one. That was the one that was $19.99. They put it out. And that stomped Madden that year. And then EA was like, yeah, we're just gonna buy the NFL license. You guys can't make the game anymore.
Pretty much. I really think that they were afraid.
Yeah. Nobody's. I mean, I think there's some arbitrary like rule, like, oh, you could make an NFL game as long as it is an arcade game. It can't even be anywhere even near a simulator at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know the last time I seen an NFL licensed arcade game. I couldn't even tell you when that was.
Nah, I can't either. It's been a minute. Not since Blitz.
Yeah, hopefully the NFL will do what the MLB is doing and be like, all right, well, they made they gave the show an ultimatum. They were like, hey, you need to put out your game on all systems, or you're going to lose your exclusivity. And I don't want them to necessarily do that. I don't want them to be like, oh, well, you put Madden on Madden's already on all systems. But I want them to be like, it's not worth giving you an exclusive license for the game anymore. We're just, if someone wants to make one where,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to pay us, you can pay us. It's fine.
Yeah, it was weird seeing the show. The show was always a PlayStation exclusive. When I saw it show up on Xbox, I was like, wow, okay.
I picked up a copy when it was like $10 on Xbox, just because I was like, I just want to see the PlayStation logo on an Xbox. Like, that's so weird. But yeah, that was definitely bizarre. But now it's like a normal thing, right? The show comes out on Switch and Xbox every year. It's in Game Pass. We're getting Game Pass, Wes.
Yeah.
That's wild. You guys need to get Game Pass if you don't have it. My God.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the money.
All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap things up here with a pulse check. I got the low pick. You got the high pick this week, Wes. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second.
All right, I'll start things off. I got a classic golf game for you guys. If you don't know anything about me, real golf, not that big of a fan. I don't mind going to the driving range. You get me on a real golf course, I'm going to go way too slow and people are going to get angry at me. That's what's going to happen. But virtual golf, online, playing, well, maybe not online. I never really play single player stuff, but like Tiger Woods, there's a million. Mario Golf. This time I'm talking about hot shots, man. I love me some hot shots, Wes. Do you play golf games at all? I don't know that I've ever even talked. You probably don't, right?
You know what? I did hot shots. I did outlaw.
Okay.
I did a little bit of Tiger. Not much. I'm not a golf person.
Okay.
Not a golf person, but hot shots kind of caught me because it wasn't a simulator. It was more a little on the arcadey side.
Did you play the one I'm about to talk about, which is Hot Shots Golf 4, FORE, not FOUR,
on PS2? It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, that one in particular is like spectacular. I still think about that game. There was a Hot Shots Golf on PS4 that was pretty good, and that was the first time like in a long time I was like, all right, they're back, baby. This is a really good Hot Shots game. But like the ones on PS3 were like, they're all right, But that PS2, man, oh my God, I played the hell out of that game, Wes. So many hours.
Yeah, it was. I remember they gave us the demo. There was like demos for it, and then it came out. And I bought it, and I played it for a while. It's a good party game. When you have some friends over and hey, let's throw in some hot shots. It was fun. Golf
games in general are a good game to drink and play a game with your friends, because you could just it's like you can't really drink and play a shooter, because you can, but it's like after the match is over you can have a sip of a drink, like you're waiting. But golf is like, all right, you take your shot, all right, I can drink. Take a shot, all right, I can drink. It perfectly paced for that. And also, the drunker you get, the harder the game becomes. So it's also like it's like a second layer of fun. You got to find the sweet spot, though, for you guys who drink. Because if you drink and you play anything, like pool or anything, no drinks, not that great. Couple drinks, all right, I'm like calmed down. I'm feeling much better. Like my body's like lower. It's a fine line, though. Once you get past that, there's no going back. You're just going to suck the rest of the night. So you want to stay in that middle zone as much as possible. Pace yourself. Anyway, we're talking about golf. So Hot Shots Golf 4 is a fantastic game. It's super cheap. It's below pick for this week. A loose copy will run you a whopping $6. A complete in box is only $7, and a sealed one only $19, Wes, for a sealed Hot Shots Golf 4 on PS2.
$7 for completing box is definitely worth it. That game was a really good game.
Absolutely. There's no way, man. If you go to a convention or something, you see it sitting around for like, under $10. This is a game you have to pick up. Have to. If you never played a golf game, this is a perfect entry point. It uses a 3-click system, so you don't have to use the thumbsticks, which is like a lot more complicated to use. The 3-stick system is just like you hit, or 3-click system is you just hit the X button, like 3 times to get your shot. And I know you don't understand that, but once you play the game, I just imagine pressing the X button 3 times. That's how you shoot. It's very easy. Anyway, Wes, you got the high pick this weekend. You decided to go with a console, so let's talk about that.
I know, yeah. You know what? We usually talk about games, but I want to do something a little different. And I picked a console that outside of me, maybe 5 other people bought.
Yes.
So, my high pick was the Atari Jaguar system. And I have a soft spot for Atari because I grew up on Atari 2600, and then the 5200 and the 7800, and I had their little computers, the Atari 800 computer. So I mean, I loved Atari. Because you say Atari, you think arcade, you think arcade games, and so when they kind of disappeared for a little while, but then they re-entered the market to try to recapture that spark, and they put out the Atari Jaguar, and I scooped it up, and I was like, interesting.
that's the exact response you want to have when you buy a new console. Interesting.
Because their whole advertisement was, the first 64-bit home console system. This was when, everything was, 16 and 32. And their whole thing was do the math. That was their whole do the math. Because they had two 32-bit chips in there, and 32, 64. Mm-hmm. So, but it was, the controller was god awful.
I'll put a picture in the controller. I'll give you guys a close-up of this monstrosity. I can't believe that was their controller.
People complain about the Duke for the OG Xbox. This was bigger than the Duke. It was a different shape. It had like buttons in the center. But again, it's super expensive to own a Jaguar. Because I still have mine. Alien vs Predator is one of the best games that they made for the system.
Okay.
And then Tempest, I was a big Tempest fan. Tempest is also really, really good. But then he also did some crap like Kasumi Ninja. But the Jaguar itself, like I said, because outside of maybe 10 people bought it, which is probably driving the price up, because just a Jaguar loose, you're looking at like $389.
Yeah, that's quite a bit for a console that's not known to have a ton of quality titles.
Yeah, exactly. Complete in box, you're looking at $535. That's hefty. That's really hefty. And then if you happen to come across a sealed Atari Jaguar system, you're looking at $855.
Yeah, we talked about this before. It was just like $855 and like $550 or whatever. Like, that's not a huge leap for a sealed one, but I'm pretty sure it's because a lot of those are still sealed because nobody wants to play them.
And we're just talking about the system itself. They did come out with a CD attachment, and I'm sure the CD attachment alone is more expensive.
Oh, it is. It is.
I was at a Comic-Con a couple months ago, and there was a retro game booth, and he had like it was pristine. The Jaguar with the CD attachment. It was loose, but it was complete. And I asked him, I said, "Oh wow!" I said, "How much you selling this combo for?" He said 1,500.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like,
That
"Woo!"
CD attachment is no joke, man. Think about how bad the system sold, and then they made a CD attachment. How many people that actually bought the system then bought the CD attachment, right? They couldn't have made a lot of those things.
It's almost up there with the TurboGrafx CD. It's like,
Yeah.
not a whole lot of people bought them, but they're super expensive.
Yep. Yeah, I would love
Yeah,
to have I would love to have all the consoles just to have be able to play some of the games on them and stuff. But dude, the Jaguars they put those out for like $20, like $50. They clearance those things the hell out like for super cheap.
they did. They really did because I think that was Atari's last hurrah,
Hmm.
and they realized that they couldn't compete because there were much better consoles on the market and then
Yeah.
coming in the waiting in the wings to be released. So it didn't have a long shelf life. Kind of went the way of the Virtual Boy. No one bought it, and then they started clearancing them out, and then years later, everybody wants to wants to own a Jaguar.
I mean, I would only want one just to have to play a couple of games, but I'm not spending $500 or $300 for a system with a couple of games. Not that much money. No, I couldn't.
Well,
If somebody's like, "Here's one for 150," I'd be like, "Okay, I'm game." That's the sweet spot. 150, maybe 200. Not
okay.
paying anything more than that.
All right. Well, I mean, hey, if somebody says, "Hey, I have a Jaguar, a complete Jaguar, it doesn't have the box, but it's controller and all the wires and everything, really good condition for 250," would you jump on it?
Probably not. You're
Okay.
really pushing me with 250. 200
Okay.
would be like the limit, and even then, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know about this.
Yeah, because the hardest part is trying to find like some games for it, like decent games.
Right, that's a whole other challenge, right? Like, yeah, I can't. No, I just went to a convention, and there was some Jaguar stuff. There was not much, Wes. Like very little, very
Mm.
little.
What was the
So
pricing on it? I'm
you know,
curious.
I didn't look. I didn't look
Okay.
at it. I saw the games were there, but I didn't even pay attention, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Um, but TurboGrafx was in a similar thing. I saw more TurboGrafx than I expected to see, but it
Hmm.
was like the people who would have them would be like, "Oh, here's 4 games, here's 5 games." It wasn't like a
A flood
stack.
of games. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So, but I ended up not getting any TurboGrafx games when I was there, which I kind of regret.
Mm.
But I really need to sit down and just make a list for the next time and know what I want ahead of time. Because the only thing I had written down was Bonk, and I think they wanted like $100 for Bonk. Like, it seems kind of high, but maybe I'm wrong. Because Bonk was like a common game, wasn't it?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
that was one of the more common games for TurboGrafx. I thought, which is why I was like, why is it $100? You know.
Actually, it
Anyway,
sounds about right, but sounds
yeah.
about right. But yeah, Target Jaguar. That's my high pick for this episode's pulse check.
There you go, guys. Pick one up if you're interested. Loose is $389. No way in hell I'm paying that price. But if you want to, go for it. Go for
It's only for the diehard collectors, man.
it. All right, guys. So that has been our show for today. Wes, thank you so much for joining me, sir. Where can people find you?
You can catch me at Level Up Entertainment at the Hamilton Mall if you're ever in the South Jersey area by Atlantic City. Stop by. Let's talk comic books. Let's talk video games. We have some pinball machines you can come play, come hang out. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Grendel5XBX.
If you guys want to follow me, I'm Matt. You can follow me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at FromNJ2CA. The 2 is a number 2. Please consider following the company at Nerdthusiast on all social media platforms. If you like what you heard today, please consider supporting us on Patreon. That really helps us out. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. It goes right back into supporting the company and our teams. At the $5 tier, you guys get early access to our podcasts. At the dollar tier, you get exclusive content every month from a variety of our creators, including this one. In fact, we're going to record something for Patreon right after we end the show. With that being said, thank you guys for checking out the show. Until next time, you guys take care.
Have a good one, guys.